Greetings, everybody. My name is Michael Lee. I'm a professor in the Department of Communication here at the College of Charleston. Communication 281, the second half of the 280-281 sequence, is one of my favorite courses to teach. We touch on a bunch of really hot button issues in an effort to answer one basic question, which is how should we argue together, argue with one another in a democratic society? How do we argue and how should we argue? So the first sections of the course, roughly June 1st through June 10th, will focus on the should question. How should we be arguing? And there we're going to be talking about largely two or three different concepts. The use of reason, the birthplace of reason during the period of the Enlightenment, which is roughly 1650 to 1800, as well as the birthplace of an adjacent concept called the public sphere, the many places that we actually communicate with one another, whether it's in person, face-to-face, or whether it's in a virtual environment like this one, online, etc. Then the next 3 weeks of the course are divided into three different crises, or three different threats to the ideal of reasonable, scientific, enlightened communication. So the first crisis, which will cover roughly June 10th through June 15th, is about dumbing down, which essentially just says we'll cover the idea that Americans largely are lacking education. They lack the ability to distinguish between good arguments and bad arguments. So we'll put forward some ideas about the so-called dumb down, the dumbing down of the public, through lots of different readings that we can debate online with one another. The second crisis of democratic communication, which will take roughly June 15th through June 20th or so, is distraction. Are we so indifferent and distracted from what are important issues in the public sphere by private, superficial concerns, right? Basically, are we staring at our phones so much that we miss what's important in our broader world? The third crisis, which we'll cover very briefly in the last couple of days in the course, roughly June 25th and 26th, is the last crisis, which is violence, hate, anger, bullying, trolling, essentially aggression. Then finally, you'll do a big leadership project, which is a paper and a speech described in the syllabus. The leadership project I've called the Crisis Project because you pick one or more of these crises and expand upon it, go deeper into one of the issues that has struck you during the course and make an argument about the way we are or the way that we should be arguing with one another.